thank you so much for joining me today. In the spirit of Christmas, I thought that I would give all of you aspiring and novice wedding planners 12 tips that really help me out on the day of a wedding. So we're kind of breaking form. It's not scripted, and I'm just gonna talk to you and tell you what I think. I do actually have these written down though. First tip, make sure that you do not wear high heels on the wedding day. I know that a lot of you, maybe most of you, are very stylish and savvy and you want to wear your really beautiful shoes, but your feet are going to be killing you after this 10, 12-hour day. So this is what I do. I always pack a pair of flats, some wedges, and some sandals. I'm in Southern California, so I can get away with that. And I kind of rotate shoes throughout the day because my feet really hurt just standing all that time walking all over the property of whatever venue I'm working at. So make sure to pack a few pairs of really comfortable shoes. Tip number 2, make sure that you pack Advil, Motrin, Tylenol, and Midol with you on the day of the wedding. You never know what's going to happen, who's going to get a headache, who's not going to feel so good, and you want to have all of that stuff with you. If you have an emergency kit, this is a great place to just put all of these things that I'm going to be talking about, but definitely make sure that you have some meds with you on the day of the wedding. Oh, also, Visine would be another thing to add to that list. You know, people are kind of partying the night before, especially the groom and groomsmen, so you want to have some Visine to make sure those eyes are nice and clear for the actual day of the wedding. Tip number 3, and this one is a big one. Make sure that you and your team do not wear white, cream, ivory, anything in the white family to the wedding rehearsal or on the wedding day. That color is reserved for the bride, and your job is to kind of blend in with the wedding. Myself and my team, we always wear black to our weddings. Usually dresses, sometimes some leggings, and something cute, but we definitely never ever wear white. So make sure that you're not doing that either. Don't underestimate the power of bringing a striker. You definitely want this in tow with you. You actually want like 5 strikers in tow with you. You are going to be lighting a lot of candles, probably helping the catering staff light these candles because that's typically their job. But you definitely want to have one for you and everybody on your team because as candles burn out, you want to be there to relight. And sometimes things are just happening a little last minute and everybody's lighting candles at once. So you want to make sure that you have one of these so that you are able to help with that. Tip number 5. Don't underestimate the importance of a mini toolbox. You want to have some screwdrivers, some pliers, some wire cutters, a little hammer on hand. You will actually be using these things all the time. We use them at nearly every wedding because things happen and you need to improvise and you want to have a few tools on hand to help you do so. So make sure to have that in your kit. Tip number 6, make sure that the DJ or the MC knows how to appropriately pronounce everybody's names in the wedding party. This is a stumble that you don't want to happen at one of your events because it will embarrass you, embarrass the DJ or MC, and embarrass the persons whose name is being botched. So make sure that everybody's name is pronounced correctly and save yourself some embarrassment. Tip number 7. Avoid being in the background of any photos. You want to make sure that with the photographer and perhaps the videographer that you are out of the way. You don't want to be in the background of their photos or of any of the video, and you just want to be courteous in general. So try to avoid those situations where you're ruining their shots. Tip number 8, make sure that you bring several pairs of scissors with you to the wedding. We are using scissors all the time, whether it's a stray thread or we need to cut some ribbon for something. We are constantly using scissors, and for some reason they're always lost or stolen. So keep replenishing scissors for every wedding. Make sure they're with you and it'll save you a lot of time. Tip number 9, make sure to bring pins, and not just pins to write with, that is important, but bobby pins, safety pins, and pearl-tipped pins. You're going to be using these types of pins all the time. Obviously with bobby pins, you want to bring blonde and dark colored bobby pins so that if your bride or one of her bridesmaids needs a little hair touch-up, you're there to help. And you also want to have safety pins in case a zipper breaks or you need to pin up some type of a fabric. And pearl-tipped pins, we use them all the time on linens. So make sure that you have those in tow with you on the day of the wedding, and it'll definitely save you a headache of running out and getting those at a CVS or something on the day of the wedding. Tip number 10, make sure to trust your instinct. On the day of the wedding, you're going to be making a lot of decisions on behalf of your clients, and you want to make sure that you know them very well. You know exactly what they want and what they're expecting on the day of their wedding, and ultimately you want to trust your instinct as you are serving as the liaison between them and their vendor, so keep that in mind. Tip number 11, make sure that you know how to appropriately pin on a boutonniere. When I was a new wedding planner, this is something that caused me a bit of frustration because I didn't really know how to do it, and it definitely took me a lot of time. It was embarrassing a few times when I wasn't sure what I was doing and I was trying to fake the funk and pretend like I knew what I was doing. And I also ended up with a few pricked fingers. So make sure that you know how to do this, that you've practiced it if you are a brand new wedding planner, so that you're not wasting tons of time on the day of the wedding getting everybody pinned. And tip number 12, make sure that you have a really fantastic, cohesive team. This is something that on the day of the wedding, in my experience, really affects the overall mood, how everything flows. If I have a really great team, we all understand each other, we know how to communicate well with each other, everything seems to just run that much better. So make sure that you know who you're working with, that you're able to communicate really well with that person, and that you guys ultimately have a great time creating a beautiful event for your clients. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope that these 12 tips help you in your upcoming 2014 season, and I hope that you all have a very happy holiday season. I will see you next year. Ian, you've almost been with me for 1 year. Our 1-year anniversary is coming up. What should we do to celebrate? We should cook lobsters and have it on our plates in front of us as we're celebrating. And champagne. I want to roll sushi. I'm just going to say it. I want to roll sushi.